Okay. Start broadcast here. Okay. Now, hope you can join soon. Okay. There we go. Now, I think I'm going to try to share a screen. There. Hey, I can just say it. I don't have to type it in there. Can you hear me? Do we have audio? Awesome. Hello, JJJ. I want to wait around a bit, see if Victoria comes. I know she was the first one to volunteer to be my guinea pig, so I don't want to start anything without her. How's everybody doing? I think I actually have I have a little volume bar on my avatar there. I have a message of some kind. Victoria was here a while ago. She posted that before the thing started and went off to do something. So hopefully she'll be right back. So I guess I can at least tell you what I've got on the screen here. This is, well, I had it on the screen. There it is. This is one of my websites, and I have it up to where I was going to talk about in the other Hangout that didn't get a chance to, about the Mark of the Beast. And if you ever want to use this, it's free to use. It's just, I don't know if you can see the link there, but I can post it in the chat because I can do anything. If you see me, let's see. Yeah, that's to the Greek interlinear part. And if I get too much background noise, let me know. I'll have to mute for a second. Every month or so. So I keep getting messages, people, but I haven't heard from Victoria yet. I'll wait till it's a little quieter in here. 40, 50 seconds. So, I don't know. I guess I could go ahead and whenever Victoria comes back, I can try to repeat if she has any questions. This is the passage of Revelation that has to do with the Mark of the Beast, and you can see I've got the English text as I understand it, and then the Greek words, each one parsed, and as you can see, if you hover over a word, it puts up in the upper left corner, the parsing, the grammatical parsing, and a short definition. And the words are color-coded. Black means there's no grammatical gender attached to it. Blue is male, red is female, and purple is neuter. I thought that was appropriate. You guys can still hear me, right? Nobody's saying anything in the chat, so I thought I'd better check every now and then. So here we see, if you had a question about any individual word, I can hover over it and just let me know. The it referred to here is the second beast, also known as the false prophet. It's it because it has the grammatical neuter gender for back a few verses earlier that had the word beast or wild animal, as I put it here, because it doesn't mean any particular kind of animal. It's just an animal that's untamed. So usually a vicious, untamed animal, not like a wild bunny or something. But that's the it that this is talking about. Because it's third person singular, so he, she, or it, and we know it's it because of that, because of the noun way back a few verses. So this is the one who orders the mark. It's not the beast itself that orders it, it's the false prophet. And it gives life or spirit to the image or idol of the beast. And then here we get into the mark. It's an inscription I got here. It means something etched. Let's find that word here. Inscription. Charagma, which means a sign, or as you can see there on the grammatical stuff there in the corner, it's an engraving, something etched. So this would be carved into the skin, not just written on it, not something put under it, but a writing in it. So probably the closest concept would be a tattoo. But because of the penalties later on for anybody who takes it, I'm speculating that it also includes some kind of DNA change, which would make sense also from the fact that later on the people with the mark get these terrible sores, and I'm guessing it's right where they got the mark is where they get these terrible sores on their skin. So right hand or forehead, and can't do anything without that mark. And because of that verse, people think, well, that means it's a currency or it's a personal ID, like a credit card, something like that. I would have to disagree because this is the beast mark, the beast name or number. It's not your identity, it's the beast's identity that you take on yourself. And you would have to display that mark to do any kind of commerce. So it doesn't matter whether you have a cashless society, it doesn't matter if you're trading with beads, any kind of business or exchange that's done, you would have to have this to be able to show this mark. So this, if this is true, if this interpretation is true, it's going to rule out a lot of other things that people say the mark of the beast could be. So, and then of course it goes on to calculate the number. And it is the number of a person, not every person, not each individual person, a particular one. And it is, yes, it is person. Various other versions, such as the King James, will say man, but the word is generic. There it is, anthropos. You might recognize that because it's where we get anthropology. It's the study of humans. It is not gender specific. Now, you can see here that it's written out 666. So it's not what some, there are some Greek manuscripts that have it in shorthand, basically, or abbreviated, which leads some people to believe that it resembles an Arabic word, but other versions have it written out, which when you have those two together, the fact that it's written out ever tells me that it is not meant to be the abbreviated form that resembles an Arabic word. So I think it is just the literal number. And that was pretty much all I wanted to say in the other Hangout about the Mark of the Beast. Julie says, development of a tattoo applied to the skin and notifies it. Yeah, that's absolutely true. And they're going step by step. They're keep increasing and shrinking the technology. So I don't have any doubt that they can do that. But here again, for the actual Mark of the Beast, it's going to be the beast's mark. It's going to be the name or number, and that's all the text gives us. It's the beast name or the beast number, and doesn't say anything else. So, any questions? Don't everybody talk at once. I'm hoping that everyone else can show up. Let me send a quick message here. And back. Yeah, I haven't seen Victoria yet. And my dog wants to play with me right now because I'm busy. Now, if anybody else wants to be on the panel, I will have to give it to you by Skype or Google Plus, or an email if you give me your email. And if you don't want to put your email in the chat here, there's actually a contact form at the top here. That's just for all my sites. I have one contact form, and you can use that. Until then, or if you prefer, you can just type stuff on the chat, and I'll see if I can find something to say about whatever. I guess I'm going to leave that screen up to share because not everyone has seen it yet. His messages. Okay. Anything else you want to talk about? This really was just a test, but I will try to leave it up for the hour I said I would, just because, especially because Victoria hasn't been here yet that I know of. At least she hasn't posted. And I don't know, I'm going to give her this link for sure, just because I had an earlier one that we were setting up at first, and she might not have seen that. So let me try to find that. And send that off to her. Because I think maybe that's the problem. We got 4 viewers. I think that's pretty good for a first test. Well, like I said, I'm going to leave that up, and maybe let's see, what else can I talk about? You guys can let me know if you ever want more of these. Maybe we can get some more people in here to talk. What do any of you think about some of the things people say about the Bible in the other chat rooms, the other Hangouts? Do you think there are 2 creation stories? No, I personally don't think there are. I think the first one, the chapter 1 account, is more of an overview and gives the sequence of things, and then they go back. As far as what I've heard from Hebrew experts, they go back then and elaborate on what they just said and fill in the blanks, basically. Others think there's too many differences, and I don't see enough of that. I do want to study more the Septuagint version, which is the Greek Old Testament, and see what it says. There's a very good translation of it. I'll see if I can find the link for the NETS translation, NETS Greek Old. Let me see if I can get that for you guys and post it. Let's see. I think this is it. Try that. Take a look at Genesis. Got a long intro. And eventually, if you scroll down, let's see, where does it actually start? Page 6. Yeah, so if you go to the link, like under laws, I clicked on Genesis, and go down to page 6, it shows the translation into English from the Greek Old Testament. And in some of my other videos, I talk about where those documents came from. It's the Bible Lessons #1 on language. I got more details there. So let's see, nothing else yet. Hopefully Victoria will be joining us soon. She may be at work or something, I'm not sure. So, I know this is really exciting and everything, but it is just a test. Anyway, we'll have some material to put when it's uploaded to my site after it closes. And I think I can end it early if I need. When Cain got kicked out, he had a mark put on his head so that no one would mess with him. Genesis 4:12. I'm going to look up Genesis 4:12 in the NETS version and see what it says. Let's see about what page. Oh, that went way too far. Let's see, chapter 4. Okay, down around verse 10. Let's see, verse 12. You will till the earth, and it will not continue to yield its strength to you. You will be groaning and trembling on the earth. And Cain said to the Lord, my guilt is too great for me to be forgiven. That's a lot different than the Hebrew. And the Hebrew says too great for me to bear, or something like that. Too great for me to be forgiven. If today you are driving me out from off the earth, and I shall be hidden from your face, then I shall be groaning and trembling on the earth. And it will be that anyone who finds me will kill me. And the Lord God said to him, not so. Anyone who kills Cain will let loose 7 acts of vengeance. And the Lord God allocated a sign to Cain so that no one who found him would do away with him. Then Cain went away from the presence of God and lived in the land of, this just spells it, Naid, N-A-I-D, over against Eden. Edom. They have an M on the end. That's kind of an interesting reading. Who were these people? There's a lot of speculation. The Bible doesn't tell us, so that's all we can do is speculate. And personally, I believe that since the account of what's called the Table of Nations in the Old Testament doesn't list everyone, it lists the principal characters and draws a timeline, but it doesn't list everyone. It's my opinion that these were other of Adam and Eve's children because they were alive a long time and were not really given a span between events here. Some people think Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden for, hundreds and hundreds of years before anything happened. We have no way of knowing. And because we have no way of knowing, we can't rule out that these other people were the children of Adam and Eve. It's my opinion. Other people will say, well, there's a pre-Adamic race, and the problem I have with that is, A, it's an argument from silence. The Bible doesn't ever speak about any of the pre-Adamic race, and B, what the Bible does say is that sin entered through one man, that being Adam. And so before Adam, there could have been no death. And if there was no death, then there was no pre-Adamic race, because there's no, everything was dying. That's more, I think, of what a theory that comes out of trying to compromise between evolution and creation. Just my opinion. But yeah, everybody has a different opinion of it. But that's the problem with the text just doesn't tell us. But like I said, what it does say puts boundaries around what's possible because of when sin entered the world. So, and nobody knows either what the mark was, or the sign, or whatever you want to call it, on Cain to keep people from killing him. Evidently, everybody knew what it was, but evidently also we didn't need to know. Where is Victoria? I invited Larry over, but I guess he was busy or something. I know he wanted to hear some more about the Mark of the Beast. But like I said, this will be uploaded later, probably not too much later after 8, because it's going to be very short. I mean, even the 8-hour videos are up fairly quickly. Let's see what else. What can I think of? Oh yeah, that would be another book. That's why there's so many books written about the Bible. I've heard it said that, there's something wrong with the Bible because it's not clear, but that is based on the presumption that the Bible was written all at once, written to be all things to all people in all ages and all cultures, when in fact it was mostly written to and about the Jews. And so yes, there's things missing, but as far as, it's not meant to be a history of the world. So we really can't say anything's missing other than it's stuff that we think should be there. But it has what God wanted in it to be preserved, is all I know. Because I'm pretty sure if God absolutely wanted us to know something, he'd have preserved it. So, just how I see it. Let's see what else. I have a bunch of material elsewhere on theories such as those proposed by Zeitgeist, which is Gnosticism basically, and I have links in, I think, one of my videos that points to some pretty good rebuttals of Zeitgeist and its claims, especially that the Bible borrowed from earlier religions, especially the story of Jesus and his disciples and all that. Most of the claims made by Zeitgeist are either what they call anachronistic, meaning they're saying they happened before the Bible was written, when in fact they were made up after, well after, a lot of it in the Middle Ages. In other cases, they're outright fabrications. They're claims without any basis, any proof at all. Anybody can grab pictures of antiquity and say this was found in such and such a year, when in fact it wasn't. But people tend to believe Zeitgeist. It's well presented and all, but the information is not all that factual, and that seems to be the source of a lot of what people believe about the Bible. And it seems that it's kind of the topic of the next Bible lesson video I'm going to do, that people are all too eager to blindly swallow what they hear against the Bible, but really, put the Bible on an impossibly high standard. It's just a double standard, and that's what my next video is about. So, let's see, what else? I talked about in my language video about the Septuagint, early Hebrew. What do you think about Psalm 82? I'm going to look at that in the Septuagint as well, because I I like the way it reads. Let's see. Psalm. And let's find 82. There's 52. Because I'm just curious how it reads. There we go. A Psalm of Asaph. I'm not going to read. Oh, it's pretty short. I might as well read the whole thing. God stood in a gathering of gods, but in their midst he discerningly judges gods. How long will you judge with injustice and to sinners show partiality? That was a quote. It's kind of hard to understand when you can't see the quotes. I could share it, I suppose, but I want to share that other one for Victoria. Anyway, give justice to orphan and poor, of lowly and needy, maintain the right. It's not exactly the best English, but it's accurate to the Greek, I guess. Deliver needy and poor from a sinner's hand, rescue them. They had neither knowledge nor understanding. In darkness they walk around, and all the foundations of the earth will be shaken. Okay, I said, gods you are, and sons of the Most High, but you all are dying like human beings, and like one of the rulers you fall. Rise up, O God, judge the earth, because you will gain possession of all the nations. So you're asking why God calls them gods? The divine council. That part about dying like men, the word gods, usually when God is talking about angelic beings, he calls them sons of God, not gods. But in this case, he's just saying gods. My opinion is that he's using the word a little sarcastically here, because they're dying like human beings, so how can they really be gods? But it's my opinion that the ancient mythological gods of Greece and Rome and all that were based upon real beings, being the fallen angels. And they made themselves gods. It's kind of like in one of the Hollywood movies about Thor and all that, Thor and Loki, how they, Loki would mock Thor for going to Earth and making himself a god. That's pretty much what the fallen angels did. So here again, it doesn't, it's a secondary argument, because a primary argument would be it says right there in the text X, Y, and Z. In this case, once again, it doesn't say it, so we have to speculate and derive it from what we're given. And what we're given doesn't say that they are actual gods. By the context I'm going. Without the context, I wouldn't know. Hey, Ace. Glad you could make it. Still waiting for Victoria, the first person that I've invited, and I don't know what happened to her. Hope everything's okay there. So, okay. Is that you're describing your condition right now, Ace? Maybe that's why you're here. But I have to keep talking because nobody can see anything but my page I'm sharing, and there's nobody else here in the panel. Oh, okay. Searching keywords. All right. Yeah, if you just got here and don't know what's going on, I'm reading some things from the Net's Old Testament, and gave a link to that earlier in the chat here. Which, of course, it is a. Let me read what they say about it. Let's go back. New English translation of the Septuagint. That's what Net's. There is a Net translation, which is just New English translation, and it's from the Hebrew. But this one is from the Greek. And like I said when I was reading it earlier, it has some intriguing differences, and I haven't had a chance to read much of this version yet. And I think it's interesting. If I can remember the reference, there's a couple of other things, then I would maybe read those later. But right now, I don't remember them. So, Face has a bad signal. Must be on his phone or something, or the internet's just not very good there. Well, I could show you around my website a little bit. This is not my main, I mean, it's the Bible site only. It's not my blog or anything. Homepage has an explanation of where I'm coming from and what reasons I chose for translating things the way I did. And the English text, of course, is just reading, and you can click on whatever book you want there. It's always the complete book. There's no flipping pages for chapters. It's designed to try to work as well as possible on phones up to widescreen, so that's why it's laid out like that. We have a crude search. It is not Google search. It's case sensitive. I probably should have said that somewhere. So if I go like this, it won't find anything much. But if I go like this, you get a whole bunch more because it is case sensitive. Commentary, little intro there on each book. I did all the Gospels together because they're all describing the same events from 4 different angles. So I integrated those and gave a little outline of what I think is the sequence of events, because sometimes it's hard to figure out which came first when you're trying to compare 4 different long books. But other people have done similar things, and they would arrange things a little differently. But when it comes to, let me see where I have the timing of the final week, that might be of interest because I explain what day of the week I think Jesus was crucified, what day of the week he rose, and so forth. So, because one thing people don't generally know is that when one account says about the 6th hour, or say, and the other says near the 9th hour, they're talking about the same 3-hour span. Let's see. I see a question here in the chat. That's Old Testament. The writing on the wall from Nebuchadnezzar's time, or was his son Belshazzar, I think it was. Yeah, your days are numbered, basically, is what it said. And he died that night. There was an invasion, and he died that night. Yep. Weighed and balanced. I'm just going from memory here. It's been a while since I look at that. And that is, I think that was Aramaic. No, that doesn't sound right. Anyway, not Hebrew, not Greek. But yeah, basically you have been weighed and found wanting, and your days are numbered. Let's see. There, of course, is the interlinear that I was on. I don't have the reference I had up before. Ace, we're just talking about, we started out talking about the mark of the beast, which was just something I wanted to bring up on another Hangout and didn't get a chance, and so I did it here. Mainly, this is up just for 1 hour for me to test. I just had never done a Hangout before, so that's all this is about. And we're generally keeping to Bible topics. And if anybody has Bible questions, I've been trying to answer them at least a little bit. For right now, in between things, I'm just kind of going through my website here and showing various features of it. We even have a download section. You can get a PDF. You can go to get an eSword module. Now, the paperback is a print on demand through Amazon's subsidiary called CreateSpace. And so I have to charge for those because there's a cost to printing. Otherwise, you can read the PDF for free. Same with the commentary. And I have, somebody asked me once for the interlinear PDF, and I made it before I had the thing completely finalized, and so that's not up to date. What about the mark? Well, just to briefly summarize, it is a etching into the skin like a tattoo that goes on the right hand or forehead, and it is the mark of the beast, not of us. It's not our personal ID, in my opinion. It is the beast name or the beast number, and that's all the text gives us. We could speculate that because it's etched in the skin, it may contain some kind of DNA change, or at least the promise of one, and which would make sense of other parts of the prophecy that talk about people who took the mark getting terrible sores on their skin. I'm just speculating on that connection, but it seems plausible to me. So the mark of the beast is not barcodes. It's not our replacement for our credit card. It's not a currency. It's not, the Bible never says there's a one world currency. It just says that no one can do any commerce without this displaying this mark on their head or forehead or right hand. It's the same with one world religion. The Bible never says that. It just says at the midpoint of the final 7 years of judgment, called the tribulation, that everyone will be forced to worship the beast. And that if they don't do it, then they're put to death. So that's the closest thing you can get to a one world religion. It never talks about one before that. And of course, if anybody wanted to send me an email to get in the panel, I'm going to probably be really picky about who I let in right now because of things, other hacks going on today. There's my contact form. You can send me your email, which means also I will have your email. So there. So back to the interlinear. Weren't the Medes, which were Daniel's kind of colleagues, sort of from a place called Media. The Medes and Persians were the two groups that banded together, joined together after the fall. Well, they conquered Babylon. They were not his colleagues. They were his captors. Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar was the king of Babylon when Daniel and his three friends were taken to, they were deported from Israel to Babylon. And so they know they were not colleagues, although they were groomed and trained to be high officials eventually, because they stood out as outstanding people. So in that sense, I guess you could call them colleagues, but they were actually captors. But yes, there was Media and Persia were the two countries that they came from. Let's see. Oh man, no, I'm not going to repeat it. Yeah, it'll be up soon. It's only got, 20 more minutes that this will be here, and then it will be up probably not long after that on my website, not my website, but my YouTube channel. So what else? We got 20 minutes. Magi, they're similar English words, but not really in their original languages. The Magi were more, I don't want to say astrologers. They were more of they were astronomers in that sense of the word. They were called astrologers then, but some speculate that they learned, because of where they seem to have come from, that they might have learned about the star and everything from Daniel and his friends that were in captivity over there. So that's just a guess, but they're called wise men in the traditional translations, but they probably were. They were advisors to the king, basically. It's my understanding. That's another issue we have to be careful of, is connecting dots between words that sound the same in English. A lot of people do that with sun, S-U-N, and sun, S-O-N. They're only similar in English, which of course didn't even exist in that day. English grew out of German a long time ago, but not anywhere near as long as this. We're talking thousands of years here. Yeah, I'd be happy to have anybody else join up and chit chat. But yeah, when people make arguments on the basis of English words sounding the same, I think that's problematic, to be kind. I wouldn't make such an argument. I would go back to the original languages, and like any other languages, they change a lot. I mean, even by the time of the first century, when the New Testament was written, Greek had changed quite a bit, largely due to Alexander the Great, who made Greek the common language, and there were many dialects of it, but he kind of standardized it to some extent. And the pronunciation and vocabulary had changed quite a bit from classical Greek. Hello, John Watson. We've got about 18 more minutes to go here. I've only set up a 1 hour chat because this was just my first attempt at it, and I don't know what I'm doing, so I didn't want to make it very long. But yeah, it's a Bible-related theme because that's what I know best. So I thought I should talk about something I understand. Ace asked, I wonder if some English words were not changed up on purpose, like with sun worship, son of God becoming the son. I don't think the probability is very high of that. Because, like I said, any changes they make in English, we can just skip over it and go right back to the Greek. So we can do an end around on anybody's attempt to change English and make it mean something else. Let's see, what about this angel that appeared to Daniel and said he had been battling with the prince of Persia? This goes back to what I was saying earlier about the fallen angels having territories, basically, where they were considered gods. And they would have some authority over their territory. And so if the angel was coming, I believe it was Gabriel or Michael. I'm pretty sure it was Gabriel. I'd have to look back, but it was one angel came and had trouble, and the other one had to come and help him to get past the angel of Persia. An angel, by the way, in Greek is the word angelos, and it only means messenger. That's all it means, is messenger. So you have to get from context what kind of messenger you're talking about. And of course, in this one, it seemed obvious that it's a spiritual being, not a human messenger. And of course, that would be the same with the Hebrew as well. Yeah, playback for previous things. Last question, thoughts on whether the fallen actually, okay. Yeah, I actually believe they do. If you look at, I think it was Genesis 6, and once again, I want to look at the Nets Bible. Let me copy that and put that in a tab on this other window because it'd be a little bit easier to see. There, and then you can see it too. I'll be right back. Hold on. And we want to look at Genesis 6. 3, 4. Yeah. Humans began to become numerous on the earth, and daughters born to them when the sons of God, which I mentioned earlier, is a common phrase in the Old Testament, refer to angels. It's also used in Job. And saw the daughters of humans and took wives, and that seems pretty clear to me what kind of relationship that was. And it's because of that it led to God flooding the earth. The objection comes usually in the New Testament where Jesus said the angels in heaven don't marry, but he didn't say they can't, and he didn't say the fallen angels. So there's enough ambiguity there to leave it open to at least be possible, and it would explain what the results were. There, it says there were giants on the earth in those days, and afterward, when the sons of God used to go into the daughters of humans, then they produced offspring for themselves. These were the giants that were of old, the renowned humans, which I believe, once again, were the source of the ancient Greek and Roman mythologies. Yeah, that was the first thing I did to talk about the mark of the beast. I also did briefly mention that the number is written out in the Greek. It is not. There are some copies, old copies of the New Testament that have it abbreviated as 3 characters, which some say resemble an Arabic word. Whereas in other ancient Greek documents, it has it written out, like you would write out 600, like you're writing a check, 660 and 6. So I don't go by these 3 little characters mean that, because these other family of documents exist and have it written differently. I kind of think it was just a convenience writing and not trying to be any kind of Arabic word. Smithsonian admits to the destruction of thousands of giant human skeletons. Yep, I believe that. I've read a lot about that years ago, how they were collecting them all and then locking them in the basement, basically, kind of like, with the Ark of the Covenant in Indiana Jones, where they just stuff it somewhere and nobody will find it. Yeah, there's plenty of clips of old documents. Of course, that can be forged and faked, but that's been done for a long time. Why, this way before the internet, where people would have had to go to a lot of work to fake those stories. So yeah, I think this is one more dot we can connect to the others about giants. Seems to me. Okay, what else? We have about 12 minutes left. See if we can think of something else here. I can go back to... See, I wasn't sure when I shared pages whether it would only stick to the one tab that I had open, but this is cool. Next time I want to do something like this, I'll have some tabs ready and I can just switch between them. Yeah, old newspaper reports, yep. Old clippings or pictures of clippings, which those can be forged too. But you know what? After we've seen Obama's birth certificate, I think we would know if they were forged. Because the tricky people don't seem to do forgeries very well these days. This is just when we need Tyson in here to do his impression. And on that note, I think they're going to do a bunch of those impressions tomorrow night on somebody's channel. I'm not sure whose. And if I meant to say at the start, I don't know if I remembered, but I wanted to thank Jibby and his other friends there on the Hangout that's probably still going on helping me get this started, because it seems that you can't start a Hangout from Google+. You have to go through YouTube. Thanks, Julie. Very nice of you to say. Yeah, it did go faster than I thought. With just me talking, I thought I'd be sitting here with dead air, going, what should I talk about? There was a little bit of that, but some good questions from all of you. Thanks for those. Yeah, I can do more if you guys want. Mainly, like I said, I just wanted to do this to see if I could set it up for my church sometime if they wanted to do video conferencing. And but yeah, if we ever need, you guys want to hang out and just do the Christian things while everybody else is talking about NASCAR or smoking or something, I'd be happy to. Not to compete. I certainly wouldn't want to, I don't even want to. It would just be an alternative. And I generally don't stay up as late as them, so the night is theirs. 9 more minutes. What are we going to do? Yeah, let's see. I'd have to stop stop sharing my screen. I can talk. And you can see my washed but not combed hair. I'll try to point the camera here. Oh, everything, the wires get caught on things and I can't turn it very well. But there's my younger son. And there's our puppy dog, my old one. He just turned 14. So he's kind of tired, and it's probably not wise to tease him. What is it with teasing dogs? He's going to bite you. And you would deserve it, We have another dog somewhere, but he's sitting with his daddy and does not want to be bothered at this time. There we go. Yeah, I look extra old and gray with my hair just not combed. Yeah, my dog is staring at my son. It's like, come on, try it again. Just try it. So yeah, if you want to do any more, let me know. I guess this page will stay up even after it stops for the chat. You can still type things, but I showed you that contact form earlier. You can get to it from my Bible page. There is Bible. Well, didn't I give it? Yeah, I gave the link, but I can give it again, I suppose. And there it is. You can. That's the Bible site, and then you can. Well, that's the Greek part. You can always click on another thing there. Thanks, Julie. I assume it's Julie. Could be both of you. I don't know. But yeah, it would probably, if I know ahead of time what I'm going to talk about, then I can plan it out a little better, maybe. But yeah, there's lots of material. I can also post other links I could put in the description, I suppose, but I'll wait till this is over to edit it. Oh, it's both of you? Cool. That must be how there's 5 people watching, it says. I just don't know what happened to Victoria. She was going to come, and I don't see any messages from her, so something must have come up, but she can see it when it uploads. So, am I missing anything at the other Hangouts? Doesn't seem to have been a good day in the Flat Earth Hangouts today. All that drama. Seems like we have either drama or sleepy time. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess anymore we have to be absolutely sure that if we give somebody a link that they're not going to tear up the place like they did over there. Jeff Stewart, you mean, has one going? Is Jibby still going? And I think I have a link to another one that started up. Well, what else would you expect? I mean, especially the expletive part. There's at least 2 people that seem to be known for that. Hillbilly's just having a bad day today. It's too bad that has to happen, but they did gang up on him. So I'll probably go to the one I got a invite for just before I started this one. Still going? Okay, I might check that out too. Yeah, I try to stay away from the drama if I can. Sometimes you get guilt by association, but other times you don't care anymore. If somebody wants to say you because you hang around with somebody that you're just like them, then or you approve of everything they say, well, that's remains for them to prove. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So, 5 minutes to kill. What do we do? At least I think I know how to start the next one. And maybe next time I can pay more attention to how long it takes for the start broadcast button to come up, because it didn't come up right away. So we'll see how that goes. But like I said, if you can email me or G Plus or Skype. I'm not on Facebook. But those are the ways you can get a hold of me. Yep. There used to be a saying, I think by Arthur Jones, the inventor of Nautilus, that practice makes perfect, but only if you practice perfectly. Yeah, I could end it, but I kind of want to see what it does. It'll probably just shut itself off. We got 4 minutes and close enough. I can just sit there. Other times, I guess, if everybody's done talking, I could shut it off early. But this time, I think I'll just let it go for the last 4 minutes. Getting tangled up in my wires here. But yeah, if you ever need, to just go someplace really boring as opposed to the high energy drama, I can always fire one up. What's his link? Is that what you mean? You got LIK there. Link, yes. I don't know. Does anybody still have that? I'd have to re-look it up. Let's see if I can find that. Should be back here in a message somewhere, I think. Well, that might be to get into the panel, and I don't want to give that one out. Yeah, you'll have to go search for it. Just go to Jibby Jedi channel, and there should be a live now box on something, and if not, you can do a search on what do you call it? I think he just called it Flat Earth, but I don't remember. And then filter it by live. Yeah, the link I have, I think, is to the panel, so I don't want to give that one. So you just have to do a search in YouTube. Should be pretty easy to find. Or I could waste the last 2 minutes and go look for it. Let me see if I can do that in less than 2 minutes. But things get slower the more YouTube tabs I've got open because I'm running a Hangout. All right, let me see if I can get that. Copy and paste. Here we go. That should be it. That should be the link to Jibby's. But there's another one I might check out too. So I may not be there. I'm not sure yet. I may go there for a brief minute, then go to the other one. I don't know. Yeah, I got the link there. Try that one. I think we're about to disappear here. It still says live, but we may have a few seconds. Even though it says started streaming 1 hour ago. I don't see any countdowns or anything. You would think I would see something like that, but I don't know. Maybe there's some other window I have to have open to see that. I don't know where that would be. I'll have to ask somebody sometime. I don't know. Okay, well, I would like to pick something of general interest. So, I mean, I could do any part of the New Testament. So, yeah, whatever you guys want. No problem. Well, I might just shut it off. It doesn't seem to be shutting off by itself for some reason. But I don't remember how many minutes after 7 I actually started it because I couldn't find the start button. So I don't know. I'll sit here until the live thing goes off, I guess. I could hang it up. I don't know, but let's see what I got in this toolbox. Doesn't say anything. Somewhere there was an analytic, and I don't remember where I saw it. That would tell me probably a countdown. Oh, hey, Vic, we're about to disappear probably. I was going to let it run out, and so far it hasn't. But if it doesn't run out in a couple more minutes, I'll just shut it off. Oh, so you heard the whole thing? Because either way, it will upload to my channel automatically pretty soon after this is over. I just don't know how I can tell how long I have. Okay. Yeah, somewhere it probably tells me a countdown of some sort. But I don't know where that is. I'm not seeing anything. I don't want to open any more tabs. I think I could turn off my extra windows here. Alrighty. Yeah, like I said, I don't know how long it'll take to upload, but it should appear within, I would think, an hour at the most. Let's see. Still running. And I don't know what happened to what place that was that I saw analytics. Oh well, figure it out someday. I have a new button on my video manager that says resume Hangout on air. But it still says I'm live. You're welcome, John and Julie and everybody else. 3 minutes max. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, it's almost 8:11. I'll shut it off at 15. How's that? Because I see no kind of countdown. If you see one, tell me where it is. So I'm looking all over the place. I don't see it. Okay, well, I guess it doesn't go off automatically. I don't know. Because other people say maybe it's because, I'll bet it's because of the ones that go 8 hours that YouTube just cuts them off. I'll bet that's what that is. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and stop. Unless somebody doesn't want me to. Yeah, I agree, Ace. I think it does. It only shuts off automatically if you go 8 hours. Alrighty. Yep, I'm going to stop broadcast unless anybody doesn't want me to. And I understand there might be a little delay between what I'm saying and what I'm seeing in chat, so I'll hold on just a second here. All right. See y'all. I'm going to hit the nuke button here. Thanks, everybody, for coming.